Golly, Sergeant Carter, you sure did make a big mistake there. Okay, on each side there's 3 of these, and on the top of each one of these I have to get one of these round pucks, because that's what the bolt screws down against and pushes this down. This is a big rubber spring. Little Bertha time. Okay, I want to try to explain to you a little bit about how this is going to work. And if you remember, these cast iron brackets have this track and this wear bar. But in order to take the slack out from under here, you see the gap in there? So what I got to do is I got to pry this up here. It's kind of a pain. I got to pry that up, and I got to put a shim pack under that, and so as you can see, it's going to need quite a few shims. Okay, now I've got the shim pack squished down, but I got to loosen these up because there's these plates that go on here, and so this has all got to be sort of loose so that when I tighten the side plates, these come over against those. I'll snug these up and then finish snugging these down, and then once both sides are done, then I can tighten these, because these are going to jack this up when I go to tighten them. It's going to put pressure on those rubber spring packs to keep the tension up on that block. Okay, got the track around here. My other camera died, but I've got the alligators lined up. Now I got to get the pad on. Okay, I've had enough for one night. This is a 1693 D43 pre-cup, and I cut it away. And in one of my rebuild videos, I'll leave a link below to it, you can see the piston. I had a 3408 piston, which is kind of the same as 3406, same bore. But this is the what they call a capsule style nozzle, and these nozzles don't take a lot of pressure. So anyway, these only take about 640 when they're brand new, about 700 psi or 720 to pop them off. And then this is the extension that puts it down in there. And when you put these on, what you do is you just take them and give them a good quick spin like that to get them tight in there. Now this will push down against here and there and seal it, but you want it snug. So what it's going to do is it goes down in here, and see these teeth will hold it. Then this is the retainer. It's going to go on here like this, and it's really critical that you torque this down to, I think, no more than about 105 foot-pounds of torque. If you torque it too much, you can crush or split this nozzle body. Okay, this is the pre-cup inside here. So, and then this part screws in the head, and this is where the charge comes out into the combustion chamber. But I guess you could actually call this the combustion chamber. This is where the explosion starts, and then it blows it into the piston, and that's why the top of the pistons have to have a steel heat plug. Otherwise it'd just burn a hole through the aluminum piston. So this is a 3406 nozzle adapter. This is set up for the DI nozzles. What I'm hoping to do is to be able to manufacture something like this, get an injector that'll go in there, a high pressure one, and then you can see this is the O-ring seal, and this is where it seals it in the head. And on this one, and this pre-cup is surrounded by water from here up to here to cool this. And this is one of the reasons that PC motors need bigger radiators. This is called heat rejection. And because this is surrounded by water and this explosion is taking place in here, this pre-cup is giving off a lot of heat and wasted energy into your cooling system. So this isn't the most efficient system there is. Whereas this one is cooled from here to here also, but there's no combustion, there's no combustion taking place in here. You just need this coolant to keep this cool, because this is threaded down in there, and this is exposed to a lot of heat in the combustion chamber, and it travels up through here, so you need to cool this. So your nozzle goes down in here, and down in the bottom it'll be a copper washer that seats it. Then there'll be a cap on here that holds it down in there tight and seals the compression. Okay, I've got one bearing out, and this is a rod bearing, and the bearing surface looks really good except for right here and right here, and I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. I'm not a bearing guru. I don't know how to read crankshaft bearings. So if somebody knows what causes that, I'd sure like to know, because look at how pretty the rest of it is. It's beautiful. Let's drop the pan. Let's tear down! Reason there was no sound, I can't listen to my radio and film and leave the sound on. YouTube gets cranky. Okay, Jeff, how many damn bolts did you leave here? I did. I left a bolt in it. I can't believe it, but I did. Left one in. Always helps to take all the daggone bolts out of it. Dipstick. Down we come. Have you ever wondered how much oil stays in your oil pan? Now, I have a quick drain. This is made by Fumoto. They were at Con Expo, but I've had this in here for 20 years. 15 at least. Okay, maybe 12. I don't know. I would say if you wanted to get it all out, you need an extreme angle. You need to park it with the left side of the truck up on blocks. I'm gonna say there's a half a gallon of oil, dirty oil, that ain't coming out. Ooh, looky here. That's interesting. What's this? Okay, I know what this is. This is what's left of the heat plug. It apparently broke it off up in the piston, and then this filled down into the pan. This is to see the timing mark in there. This is the one that you take out to remove the drive. And then you just take a 3/8 bolt and put it in the end of it, screw it in, pry it out. There we go. Okay, see that flat spot right there? There's one on each end, and they line up, and the cam drive will not go in unless they line up. Okay, before I can put this on the table, I've got to pull the dampener off and the drive hub. And then once I get it in the air, I can take this front cover motor mount assembly off, so I can set a piece of plywood on the table and then set this bottom on there without doing any damage to it. And then the back end accessory drive will hang off the end of the table. Action. Are we rolling? We're rolling, Richard. Okay. I got TD24 here helping me today. And he wants me to cut the other finger off. So go ahead and hold that in there, buddy. Alright. Here we go. Ready? Go. Now why ain't that working? Oh, here we go. Woo! Okay, now, if that goes flying off of there, I gotta figure out how to catch that or cushion its blow. Cardboard?
Yeah, cardboard's gonna do it. How about a tie down around the outside of that?
Oh, come on, cardboard.
I ain't holding
It won't go very far. It'll just go boom. You ready?
Hit it.
I don't know if I'd stand there though. Woohoo!
There you go.
It was a perfect landing. 10. Jeff wins. Okay, been doing some painting today. Inside here is the after cooler off of Old Kenny. This is going to go to Tim Harrell in Tennessee. He's got a 1693 that he is working on right now. It's a 3 1/4. No after cooler, and he wants to up it to the 4 1/4, and so he wants to keep it original and go with the original after cooler that they put on these. I want to get this back to Tennessee to him, and I want to get the bumper off Old Kenny to Frank in OK City, and so I need somebody in the trucking business who will be coming through my area, headed that way, that could pick this and the bumper up and deliver them. And a big plus would be if you could film its journey and its delivery to Frank and to Tim. That would be awesome. If you know somebody on YouTube that has a trucking channel, somebody that would be interested in doing that, put them in contact with me or leave them in the comments below who that would be. I think it would be cool. It would be cool for their channel, my channel, and Tim and Frank are going to get some awesome used stuff from Old Kenny. Okay, what am I going to do for an after cooler if I give Tim my after cooler? Well, my plan is manufacture a plate for this and then do something really cool. So if you got any ideas, leave them in the comments. And I want to go with an air-to-air after cooler in front of the radiator. And so want to do something cool that's going to look really trick. So if you've got some ideas or you know something, leave a link to it or a comment below. Hook me up with somebody that can do that kind of stuff. Gonna be doing some cool stuff here. Nurse, hand me the retractors.
Retractors.
Okay, I'm going inside. I've got this engine's guts on my hands. Oh, I found the problem. Alright, cause of death. I dropped a valve. Dropped valve caused the left ventricular exhaust valve to fall out, destroying the right intake valve, causing sudden death. I don't think there's anything more we can do here.
Let's close him up.
Oh my God! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
Okay, we're on the table, and I gotta get this cover off so it'll sit flat. Probably why that front seal was leaking. was only catching it right there. Okay, this is the guts of a 1693. This right here is your glow plug harness. And you've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 hold downs. So these are the only 3 bolts you want to take out of these cam bearing blocks for the glow plug harness. They're just little short ones. Reason you want to, that one's not going to rotate up. Undo this one too. Okay, I'm gonna have to see if I can plug the wires off of it. Okay, one glow plug wiring harness free. Okay, and the reason you want to put the bolts back are this oil line right here that feeds the bearing blocks for the camshaft. Once you take these bolts out to pull the cams out, that oil line is the only thing that's going to keep these bearing blocks on the camshaft. If you take all these off, pull the camshafts out and tip it up, they'll all go falling off, make a big old mess. It's like 52 card pickup. So you just put them back in, snug them up. Now the one you do have to take out is this very back one back here, because that one goes through all the way into the head. But it has, on this back one back here, I don't know if you can see it, nope. Okay, on this back one back here, there's some grooves cut in it with a thrust bearing that holds it. So that I can take out. This engine had 2 million miles on it when I got it. And look at the cams. They're still in really good shape. One of the things you want to do though, when you put the bolts back in these cam bearing blocks, is you're going to want to make sure you get the right length in there. And if it's got bad threads, make sure you get a bolt. I don't care if you have to get a long one and cut a couple threads off. Make sure that thing goes all the way down into some good threads, or fix the hole, because you will regret it if you don't. There, that's fuel line right there. There we go. Okay, now we're free. Free at last. Okay, now, if I can get it out. Oh, there we go. I was really concerned that the cylinder head here, that these cam follower bores would be all broke out, but they're not. Everything's good. Cam followers are good. The springs are still in there. This is the stud part of the heat plug out of the piston, and I found that in the oil pan. And this right here is a D343 1693 piston, and this is the heat plug right here. But this may have come off and caused the damage, or it may have been a valve seat that fell out, and then the valve couldn't shut and the piston hit it. Awesome news is the head isn't destroyed. Okay, what I want to do with this engine, hopefully, is convert it over to direct injection, maybe a high pressure common rail. And this is a PC piston. It's got the heat plug, and it's a flat top piston basically with valve reliefs. I need to be able to take this piston and cut a fuel bowl in it, or make new rods and use a 3406 piston. So if you can help me, you know somebody that who can do computers and who can help me with some of this design work, let me know. Put it in the comments below.
It's alright.